All right, so on your stock you'll have one of these. This is the basic oil cooler or whatever you want to call it. So you're gonna have a coolant line here, a coolant line here. You'll take those two off. Mishimoto will replace the two lines that are on these two, so get rid of those two lines. Boom, where you took them off, you're gonna take them off from this contact point here, this contact point here. They'll provide you with this line hose, if you may, and you just pop it right in. It goes in just like this. It comes with two hose clamps. And do yourself a solid when you guys do take out your bolt and stuff of that nature. I'm not 100% sure what it's called. Probably should have looked that up before I started. But when you take this out, which this is not the stock one either, to not get any coolant anywhere is in here, in this area here. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next point here in a second. All right, so with that being said, I ran my lines already. What they prefer you to do is put a little bit of oil on this, on your spacer here. Get your spacer set. Let me just do it while I'm telling you guys. Boom, I use Motul 530. Let's get a little dab like you would do your oil filter. Nice in there real quick. Yes, I do wear gloves. I like to be a little neat. I got kids, so if I have to run inside, I can just take my gloves off and bounce. So they suggest you seat your spacer like so. Keep your banjo bolts or loose, or I'm not 100% sure what these are called, but they are banjo bolts here. But keep these loose when you put it in, when you run your lines, so you can align this. You should put a little bit of oil on this side as well. I'm pretty sure it'll seat properly anyways, but because mine was already on, but for the sake of the video, put some oil on there. Get it nice and so it seals. And you take your, line it up nice real quick. Just get it started. Because when you do this without the lines connected, this obviously free spins, so on and so forth. So boom, now we got that sitting here resting. If and when you guys do this, these will be loose. This will be free spinning a lot more. My lines are already ran. Like I said, I ran them up through here. I'll show you in a second. So with that being said, we got the oil cooler itself. When you tighten these down, again, just like up top, leave them a little loose. Mine might get a little oil out of it because I have oil in mine already, but then it mounts at this point, this contact point. This point underneath it here, I'm obviously not using it because my front mount, but the contact points are here, one here, boom, one here. When you guys are doing it, it'll be stock. You guys have pop clip here and a pop clip here, if I'm not mistaken. This goes on the outside, this goes on the inside, like so, with your provided nuts or bolts, nuts, bolts, all that good stuff. Let's get that behind there. This bolt is gonna get a nut behind it. This lovely, lovely nut right here, which is a pain in the butt to get, so I would recommend starting the other side and then getting this one started. Just knock that out real quick. I'm too lazy to go grab the right size, so I'm gonna use these needle nose. Get that nice and tight. Snuggy Doug. Same goes for that one. And if you guys don't have your front mount like I do, there'll be a bolt here that you would put, there'll be a bolt underneath it here that you will put. You'll have to take out this bolt, and behind here it's completely free. You're good to go, and you can just put your bolt in, and it saves it from wobbling so much. But like I said in my other video, I have to be this way because my front mount. So now you got your lines down here, obviously nice and loose, so you can play with them. So what they recommend is put the longest line, the line that's from the furthest away first. Put that one on, boom, and it runs up through here, right underneath of the light here, and underneath here. And they will provide you, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but they'll provide you with a piece of rubber right in this area. I'll try to do a little circle in the video or take a picture or something of that nature. And that's where you'll run both of your lines. Comes up through the headlight spot here, comes up, and then it comes to a little U, if you may. Now the lines are sturdy. You won't really have to worry about kinking because it ain't happening. Same thing with this one. Run it same way, up, in, through, up, and then connect them just like so, and get it nice where you want it, so on and so forth. Maybe you can turn it a little bit, maybe you want to cock it this way, whatever, get it nice and snug. This bolt right here, they recommend you torque it. I'm not going to do that because I don't got a torque wrench at the moment, so it is what it is, right? So what I'm going to do is, because mine's already there and it's already done, torque this down real quick, well, tighten it down, make sure everything's mint here. And you don't want to tighten this down too much, honestly, because then it'll become a headache. And if you strip this out and do weird stuff with this bolt, golly. All right. Now when you're tightening this, I would recommend holding the actual plate down so it doesn't spin on you. The install videos will get better as they go, hopefully, as I start learning how to speak a little more as far as describing what I'm doing instead of, you know, just pointing and saying. So now with that being done, this is nice and ready to go. I'm gonna find out the torque spec. I guess I'll leave that in the comments for you guys. I mean, in the bio or description. Get it nice and snug. Now everything's done up top here. You got to tighten these up. Boom, boom. Get them nice and snug with your 1 1/16, if I'm not mistaken. You are gonna have to push this coolant reservoir back a little bit in order to get your ratchet in there, your wrench in there. Get it nice and snug, like so. That one was loose because I loosened it earlier because I was gonna initially take apart the whole thing, but I'm not gonna lie, would have been a whole lot longer, more of a process. Not really, I'm just a little lazy because I already have all the parts on my car. So yeah, boom. When you guys do install this, after you're done, you're gonna want to prime it. I'll go through it in a second, but yeah, you run your 2 lines, boom, pretty simple. Run them through here. These are still loose because I never tightened them yet. Because I have a front mount, I need to run mine up higher here. You can run them through this area over here. I've seen a couple of guys do that, but for right now, this is working. It ain't broke, it ain't hurting nothing, so we're good to go. I'm gonna make sure these aren't touching my AC, my AC condenser. Tighten these up snug, because this is good to go. Just hold it. Now you don't want to tighten it super duper crazy because these are aluminum threads, so tighten them crazy wouldn't really do you much justice, but stripping shit out. So I run mine, my parent front mount, I run them just straight underneath. Try to keep it as clean as possible. Make sure it's not hitting my AC condenser. Nice and snug here. Bingo. Go back to this one, just bingo. Keep them nice like this. Boom, we're clear here. Everything's good. Bolt, bolt. If you are doing this stock, you have another bolt there to the back of this brace. And that's your oil cooler hookup for the most part. I believe you would have to add a quart or half a quart extra. I can put mine back on because I gotta do an actual oil change soon. But I just wanted, for the sake of the content, put my oil filter back on here. Tighten it right up. You don't have to tighten it fucking to high heaven. Get it nice and snug like you normally would on your regular. Because if you do tighten this too much, when you go to unloosen it and you have to use maybe pliers or the actual correct tool to take your oil filter off, that bolt underneath, that long neck bolt, will come off. Like, it will loosen with it. So just be careful. You don't want to do that. I've already done it once before, not knowing, because I tightened it a little bit too much, and then the pressure and all that extra good stuff. So only snug them. All right, so oil cooler's on. Don't come for me. I know I still need to paint it. It's all good though. Lines are ran. So nice, so very nice. Boom. Got everything tightened up there. Tight, tight. Tight. Everything's good. Tight, tight. Boom. Now it's time to put my fancy dancy front mount back on. She's got some weight to her, honestly. This is my first car that I've ever had a front mount intercooler on. It's my first car I ever had an intercooler, period. Because I was a Honda boy before, baby. But, yep. So, in order to run this like I have it with this oil cooler, because Perrin's oil cooler gets mounted right here, so they don't have to worry about most of it for the most part. Well, I'm sorry, that's not even their oil cooler. Perrin's AOS goes here. Perrin's oil cooler goes over here, if I'm not mistaken. But it's neither here nor there, I guess. Because I don't got one. Because I jumped the gun and bought Mishimoto before. But no complaints, she keeps it exactly what it's supposed to be. About 10-20 degrees cooler. It's fucking amazing. Didn't really want to put that in there, but it looks like it wants to go in before we put this bolt in. Get that started. By the way, hopefully you stayed for the video long enough. I forgot to mention, these are 12s, 12. That's a 24. And if you got the front mount, you already know what size that is. I do believe that's a, not too sure, honestly, not a 12. I think it's a 14. Front mount bolts, 14, baby. It's all good. Nice and snuggy snug. Now in the future here, there will be a video of me actually putting this on, and I will have it posted. You definitely don't want to over tighten these these just kind of get snugged because I over tightened this one when I first put it on and it spun. So now I'm just barely snugging this baby, but she's holding on. She ain't going nowhere. She's fucking mint. Slide my cuppy couplers back on like so. Now this obviously isn't part of the oil cooler install, but for my car this is what I have on it, so this is what happens. This is what's happening. You want to make sure you get it over these bevels here. Tighten these up. I probably should have just got the actual size, but it's all good. Get that nice and tight. Same with this side. Bingo. All right. So before you guys start this, I'll show you. You're gonna want to prime it. But let me check mine right here to see if I lost any oil, which I don't think I will, because it won't really show because it was in my oil cooler. Ooh. Yeah, I got a couple 100 miles until I do my oil change again. But like I thought, nothing's gone because obviously it was all in the oil cooler still. I mean, all in the oil pan still. So what we're gonna do is go in the car, put it in accessory mode. All right, so we're gonna act as if we're gonna start it. We're gonna hold the clutch in and hold the gas pedal down. It's gonna create oil pressure. They say to do that for about 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Just so that oil cooler can get primed a little bit. Get that oil in there. Now, wait a couple seconds. That's just what I do. Let me make sure I don't got nothing out here. It's gonna fall in when I start it. Everything should be all right. Because we're gonna start it up, let it idle for a couple seconds, make sure there's no leaks, which I already know there's not because this thing's been on my car for a little while now. Now when you're looking for leaks, you obviously would want to look for leaks here between these bolts. And when I first got this, where the plate is down here, it used to seep through, but they sent me a whole different plate. It was mint after that. You're gonna obviously want to look at these lines down here before you put the front mount on. I already know they're good because I put Teflon on them before, all that good stuff. Make sure your lines are good, clean. Let it idle for a couple seconds. Shut her off. Shut her off, check the oil, because it should have sucked some oil down to fill the oil cooler. They really say let it get all the way up to temp, because that's when the oil cooler actually breaks open. I only lost a little bit there. So I'm just gonna top that off a smidge. All right, so now that she's good to go, you wanna let her run until she gets up to temp. That's on you. I mean, they say to do that, but once there's no leaks, realistically, you'll see them right off the bat. Realistically, when it opens, it should open at around 186 degrees. When it does open, that's when all the oil will come through here and all that extra good stuff. But like I said, mine's been good to me since I put it on, and I know there's no leaks, so we're good to go. Let her warm up to 186. That's when it'll break open. After that, it'll keep your temps probably, if I'm not mistaken, 10 to 20 degrees lower than what they normally are. So I'm stuck at probably like 190. And if I'm like hauling ass, you know, like beating on it, she's at like 194. So she definitely does the job. Mishimoto, shout out to you. But that's it for the most part. There you go. Out. All right, so we're gonna put this bumper back on right quick and we're good to go. Let's get this out of the way. And boom. So unfortunately, broke off this one, broke off this nut, bolt. I'm sad, but it's cool. I got 4 more, 5 more, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put these clips in here, call it a day, and see you on the next one.